Hello lovies, and welcome back to my channel. It's Queen, and today I have for you a protective styling tutorial. Aren't you guys excited? This is my first hair tutorial, you guys. Well, as far as me being natural, the last tutorial that I did was a wash and go afro, and I did that months ago when I first big chopped back in April of this year. And so this time I decided, well, since I'm not transitioning, I wanted to film for you guys a protective style tutorial, because when I was transitioning I did these braids, and the first time it didn't really go too well because I was still trying to figure out, you know, how to install the hair and, you know, the proper technique, you know, of wrapping the hair with the jumbo braiding hair. And now that I have, you know, been natural for almost 6 months, you guys, I figured why not film a protective styling video for you guys. So my hair right now is semi done. I have a flat twist that I just have to finish braiding, but I am going to film that for you guys on camera. And I wanted to share this with you guys because I know a lot of newly naturals, you know, once the weather starts changing from summer to fall and into winter, you know, your hair tends to start acting haywire, and so, you know, you kind of go into a panic mode. So for me, installing the braids was like the most simplest thing for me to do. With doing the braids, it took me over the course of 3 days, but that's because, you know, with breaks, stopping, you know, doing stuff in between. So without all of that, I would say it took me between about 4 to 5 hours, and that's because I was taking my time, making sure that, you know, that the actual jumbo braiding hair was close enough to the root without, you know, putting a lot of tension at the root, as well as also making sure that I was doing my parting, you know, not as big this time and not doing them too small either, because I wasn't going for jumbo braids, but I wasn't going for micro braids either. I was trying to go for something in between, so that way if I wanted to, you know, do a style, then I could. So that's why I went ahead and I did these. And for me, it's just simple, you know, it's easy to manage, you know, maintain. You know, if you want to put it up, you know, in a high ponytail, that's fine. Or like I did today for work, I just put it to the side, you know, in a high, you know, side ponytail. And I liked it, you know. And yesterday I wore a forward bun. And I'll insert a picture in here somewhere of me with that hairstyle. And yeah, you guys, so I wanted to do a protective style, mainly because it's going, now that it's fall, you know, the weather's going to start changing, and I've had my hair exposed all summer long. And as well as I am doing a Jamaican black castor oil challenge through Hairlicious Inc., and she is also here on YouTube, and I decided I wanted to do that because the Jamaican black castor oil has been a very big contributor to my hair growth since I big chopped in April earlier this year. So with all that being said, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's not going to be a real long one, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's why I went on ahead and I started on my hair for the sake of time, so that way you guys won't have to sit here and watch me do a full tutorial with me doing my hair from the back all the way up to the... Without further ado, lovies, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Okay, lovies, so you want to first start out with a bag of braiding hair. This is by Outry. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I got mine in the color 1B, and I typically get it in 1B33, but my hair does not have a reddish undertone. You will need Jamaican black castor oil, a paddle brush for detangling, some oil sheen, a rat tail comb for parting, and also you will need some hair gel of your choice. and also some hair clips to tuck away your hair. So first you want to remove the hair from the packaging to make sure that there aren't any bugs or any like pieces of paper in it from the packaging. And as you can see, it's pretty much black, but it's not like a jet black. So once you remove it from the package, you're going to want to make sure you remove those two yellow things from off the hair. And what you see me doing here is just checking the hair once again, make sure that there's nothing in it. And also I'm going to be detangling as well. Detangling will help with the hair being able to braid much smoother, and it will help it to lay down flatter. So I'm just going to use some of my ORS olive oil sheen, and I'm going to spray that all over the hair as you see me doing here. Next I'm going to go in with my paddle brush. I picked this up at my local Dollar Tree and I am in love with this brush. So what you want to do is hold the hair between your index finger as you see me doing here, so that way the hair will not move, so that way you can keep the strands even for when you're trying to separate and braid the hair. So I'm just going to detangle here, and you can just detangle to your liking. And then you just see me finger detangling to make sure there's no snags. Then I'm going to remove the rubber band, and what you're going to do here is you're going to see me separating the hair, further detangling it to help me be able to take away from the hair as much as I need to. And also too, with doing this, it also helps to fluff up the hair. And I just picked up this technique from Donedo on YouTube. I saw her doing this technique, so I said I'll try it out too, and I really did like it. It made a difference with actually using the hair. So I'm just going to go back in with some more oil sheen, because the oil sheen helps provide slip, so that way the hair doesn't tangle back on itself. I'm just going to use my paddle brush again and detangle once again. Now that we're finished detangling, we're going to start braiding. So I'm just going through, make sure there aren't any knots or tangles. And what you're going to want to do is take as much hair as you would like. Once you have done that, you're going to take that piece of strand and you're going to separate it into two separate strands. Now that you have the two separate strands, you're going to take one strand, lay it across on the other strand like a T. And then you're going to take the bottom strand and flip it over on top of the other strand, so that way you can have an interlocking loop as you see here. I picked this technique up from Breanna Rutter, also here on YouTube, and I believe for me it helps with the hair to not slide from your natural hair once you start to braid it. So you're just going to detangle it to make sure that there aren't any snags again. Okay, so we're going to put the hair strand to the side, and what you see me doing here is that I'm parting the hair to my liking. You can either have big spaces or small spaces, it's up to you. And I'm just going to go in with my Jamaican black castor oil, since I am doing the Jamaican black castor oil challenge. And you can go in with whatever oil that you like. You can use olive oil, grapeseed oil, almond oil. It's just whichever one you prefer to use. So you're going to take a little bit of gel, as you see here. I'm just going to smooth it over the hair. Now I'm not a big fan of gel since I've gone natural, but I'm starting to get back into it. And what you see me doing here is I am two-strand twisting my hair. Now when I first went natural, I was on Yolanda Renee's channel, and when she was doing her box braids, I believe it was earlier this year or last year, she used this technique with doing the two-strand twist to better blend your real hair in with the you know, artificial hair pretty much. And I just twirl the ends. So I zoomed in so you can get a better look at what I'm doing. So I have the braiding hair between my index and my thumb. I'm going to take my real hair and slide it between the two strands, twist the strands, and then the strand closest to your left, you're going to start braiding with that strand. And I go down and I braid about 2 to 3 times. And what you want to remember is to actually detangle the braiding hair, because it will wrap over on itself. So I zoomed out, and so my natural hair is in between the braiding hair. So what you see here is that I'm going to take some of the hair from both strands, and I want to make sure that I'm taking an even amount, because you don't want one of the three hair strands to be smaller than the other one. So that's what you see me doing here. And I'm going to take some hair from the other strand and blend that in with my natural hair. This helps to conceal your real hair once you start to go back into braiding. And with this, you want to take your time and detangle while you are braiding, because you will forget that once you start braiding at the ends, they start to tangle on themselves. So I braid about 3 or 4 times, and then I'll slide my hands through the rest of the hair to make sure that it doesn't tangle. And as you can see here, I'm taking my time to make sure that the hair is laying flat, that my real hair isn't exposed, because that's the whole purpose of installing the braids. You're wanting to tuck away your strands for the winter months, so that way your hair can continue to grow. And that's what you see me doing here. I braid about 3 or 4 times, and then I'll slide my finger back down through the hair to make sure that it's not tangling at the ends. And if you want to, you can also use your paddle brush, or you can use a wide tooth comb to detangle the ends while you are braiding. It just all depends on your preference. So as you can see, my real hair has blended in very well with the actual jumbo hair, and that is what I was wanting to do. So you're just going to continue braiding 3 or 4 times, and then you'll run your finger back through the hair to further detangle it. So once again, I'm going to braid about 3 or 4 times, and then slide my fingers through the hair strands. And as you can see, that all 3 strands are pretty much even, and it's not going to be perfect, but you can get it the best way that you can. So once again, you're just going to continue braiding about 3 or 4 times, and then slide your fingers down. I got thirsty. And then you're just going to continue braiding. Now for me, I wanted long braids, but if you don't want long braids, then you can actually cut the hair in half where the rubber band is holding the hair together at, and then your braids will just be shorter. But for me, for styling purposes, I wanted longer braids, so that's what you see me doing here. And you're just going to braid all the way down to the end, still detangling along the way. See how my ends were starting to tangle? You have to watch that, because then it'll make it very hard to continue braiding, lovies. Once you get to the ends, you're just going to cut them off. And then you just take a lighter and you just burn the ends. And the last time I did this style, I actually dipped my hair into hot boiling water. But for me, the sealing wasn't working good enough for me. So this time I actually decided to burn the ends. And I actually prefer that better. As you can see, it is burned. Looks very nice. And I'm just going to tuck that away with the other braids, so that way they won't get in the way of me braiding the rest of my hair. So once again, I have a small section. I'm going to moisturize my scalp with my Jamaican black castor oil. And as you can see, it's very dark. I use the extra dark version because for me, the extra dark version really does help with my scalp not itching, drying, flaking, all that good stuff. And it also helps promote hair growth, so that's why I use it mainly. So I'm just going to take a little bit more gel. I'm going to work that through the hair. And a little goes a long way. You don't want to overload your hair with a lot of products. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just working the gel through to the ends. And also too, with your real hair, make sure that you detangle before you start 2-strand twisting, because you have to remember that you want to take care of your natural hair as well, lovies. And I'm just going to 2-strand twist all the way down to the ends, and then I'll just twirl it all around on my index finger. So once again, you're going to take as much hair as you want for your braids. And then you're going to separate that strand into 2 strands. You're going to lay it over on the other strand like a T. Take the bottom strand and flip it over. And then you'll have your interlocking braiding hair. And then I'm just going to detangle again. And then I'm going to place it between my index and my thumb. And I'm going to pull my natural hair between the two strands. Twist the braiding hair. And then start with the strand closest to your left. And actually start braiding with that hair. You're going to pull it through. Pull the right strand, your real hair. And then you just continue doing that. And then braid about 3 or 4 times. And then detangle. And then just repeat it. And also too, you don't want to braid down too far to where you don't have enough of your real hair to blend in with the actual jumbo braiding hair to create your third strand. And that's what I did here, but I was able to make it work. So I'm just going to take a little bit from both strands that I already have to create a third strand with my natural hair, so that way it can help blend in very well. And as you see here, I'm detangling and I'm making sure that the hair is actually laying flat. That is the goal, to actually make sure that your real hair is laying flat with the rest of the jumbo braiding hair. And then I just sped it up here for the sake of time. I'm just sitting here talking to babe. But also remember now, once you're braiding, to also go back and detangle after you braid about 3 or 4 times, and then you just run your fingers back through. With doing that, it's going to help with the braiding process. It makes it a lot easier. So once again, I'm going to cut off the ends. And then I'm going to take my lighter and just burn them just very lightly to just get the ends to seal. You don't want to burn like all the way up to about 1 inch. You just want to burn enough so that way your ends will seal together and they won't unravel. So one more time. You're going to take the braiding hair between your index and your thumb. You're going to pull your natural hair between the 2 strands. Twist the braiding hair. And then you're going to take the strand to your left and start braiding with that strand first. So you're going to loop it over, then pull the second jumbo strand over, and then blend it in with the real hair. And that's pretty much it, lovies. It's pretty much simple. Well, not if it's your first time, I can't say that. But practice makes perfect, you guys. And I was determined this time to do this protective style because I really enjoyed it last winter while I was transitioning. And I must say that with being natural this time, the process was a lot easier. My hair blended in very well. I didn't have to worry about straight ends. I didn't have to worry about any frays. I didn't have to worry about any additional tangling since I was transitioning. So I had natural hair at the roots, but my ends were still relaxed, which were pretty much dead. And so it was just a big mess the last time. For me, I was just so frustrated. But this year, I was highly determined to actually be able to do my braids this year for protective styling for the fall and winter months. And you're gonna just continue braiding about 3 or 4 times, and you're gonna run your fingers through to make sure that it's not tangling at the bottom. So once you've braided it down to the ends, you're going to cut them off. You're going to burn your ends to seal the hair to keep it from unraveling. And that's pretty much it, lovies. So what you see me doing here is I'm adding some more olive oil natural hair sheen, so that way your real hair, so that way the braiding hair will blend in very nicely with your natural hair, because you know you want to have a natural sheen. You don't want some of your hair to look dry and then the rest of it to be real shiny. So that's what I'm doing here. And also too, olive oil is like one of my other staples. I used olive oil a whole lot when I was relaxed, so it has always been one of my staples before I even decided to go natural last year, before I started my transitioning journey. And then I big chopped earlier this year in April on Easter Sunday. And that is it, lovies, for this tutorial. I was so ecstatic when I flipped my hair back and I just saw how nicely my braids look and how they just blended in very well. I was just so happy, you guys. So girl, I was feeling myself. I was like, yes honey, yes. I was like, babe, do they look pretty? She was like, babe, they look phenomenal. You guys, like, I was just so happy. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, lovies. If you did, please give this a thumbs up. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in my next tutorial, lovies. Bye.